April means spring, and it also means two major religious holidays. Passover begins the evening of April 19th and ends April 27th, and Easter is Sunday, April 21st.
So that means a lot of family gatherings, dressing up, and even some gifts. To help us with holiday etiquette is Sharon Schweitzer, etiquette expert. Thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Of course. Now, let's say that, either of us have married into a beautiful Jewish family. We're not really familiar with how to host a perfect party. What would you say would be those go-to tips to know that you're really doing a good job with it?
Okay, there's a couple things you want to make sure you do. First of all, you want to purchase things that are labeled kosher for Passover.
Okay.
It's going to be really important because they need to be kosher when they're prepared. Number two, you want to make sure that whenever you're hosting, you don't have any dairy that's mixed with meat. So that's going to be a really important point number two. Okay. Number three, you're going to prepare what's called a cedar plate. Now, I know we've got some tips up right now here for the viewers. So no bread, no beer, and no liquor. So,
but you can have champagne.
Yes. Yes,
oh, that's a plus.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have champagne, you can
Cheers to
have
that,
wine, as long as it's labeled kosher.
Okay.
That's fine. So
Cheers.
we can do this.
Cheers.
That's right.
Okay, so these are tips for being a gracious Passover guest. What would you recommend?
Okay, in terms of being a guest, what I would recommend, whenever I would go, one of the first ones I went to, I did not realize that there are 15 rituals that are going to be gone through.
Wow.
And there's a lot of things that are done, so I did not eat before I went. That was a big mistake. You always want to eat before you go.
Okay.
Always eat first because you're going to be waiting.
Can we put those back up? There were a few other ones on there that we were going to get to for Passover guests.
The other thing you want to do is, as a guest, there's going to be a cedar plate in the middle of the table. You don't ever touch that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
A lot of it
Thank you
is.
for telling us. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay.
A lot of that is symbolic. Okay. And so you wait to see what the host is going to do.
Yeah.
The other thing is you're going to be offered bread, a special unleavened bread called matzah bread. You
Love it.
always accept it. Yes, it's delicious bread.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be offered bitter herbs. You want to take those and you want to eat those also. Those are very symbolic and those are important. If you're the youngest guest, they're going to ask you to read 4 questions. Or if you're a parent and you bring your children and you happen to have the youngest child, you may not realize you've got the youngest child. They're going to be asked to read 4 questions.
And it's such
wow.
a beautiful
I didn't know any of
storytelling
this.
holiday, and the holiday is so symbolic, and it's just really such a beautiful time.
It is. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful time.
Yep.
So then the other thing that may happen to you as a guest is whether you read English or you speak English or you speak Hebrew, you may be asked to read from the book.
Okay.
And so you want to graciously agree to do
Just
that.
be prepared and say yes and enjoy the time. Well, I want to move on to Easter too. Let's flip it.
Okay.
If you are hosting or you are going to an Easter celebration, what are your tips for that? Here's for hosting.
Yes. Okay, let's say you're an Easter host or hostess. You want to be able to spend some time with your guests, so you want to plan a simple menu. The other thing you want to do is make sure you provide a beverage variety because some people are not going to drink alcohol.
True.
Right.
So you want to be able to have fruit, juice, different beverages, maybe some sparkling water, things like that.
And party favors are they're such an important part of Easter. It's just such a fun little,
It is.
Oh, write a thank you note. My mom would say, yes, 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 highlight that one. Write a thank you note within 24 hours.
Yes.
Wow,
And then provide some games for the adults as well as the children. An Easter egg hunt, share your recipes. If you make some family traditions, some family recipes that have been handed down, that's really important. And if you're going to participate, do it with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people will do it and they're not as thrilled to do it. So that's important too.
You had a tip that applies to every party. It was also bring mannerly children. that's a good one.
At least
no
try.
matter what. Right, at least try.
Without the iPads. It's all about the happy heart, right?
Yes.
As my mom would say too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great tips.
My pleasure.
Always great tips. If you need more help with etiquette tips too, you can reach out to Sharon on her website. That's SharonSchweitzer.com.